Okay, we're good to go.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Calcutta Parsi Club, we welcome you to yet another evening of great entertainment. And I hope we have a real fun and happy evening ahead of us. Our program this evening is Face Off, where we are going to have fun 2-minute debate amongst ourselves. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to our moderator for this evening, Parvez Kaikobat. Thank you so much for coming on and being with us this evening. Our judges for the face-off this evening are Dinal Jijiboy, Gavish Chatterjee, and Trista Madden. Thank you so much for agreeing and saying yes immediately. It meant a lot to us. Thank you, Gulnar, for agreeing to keep the score. I'm going to be keeping time. And it's over to you, Parvez.
Thank you, Feroza. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hope you're all at home, staying safe. The contestants certainly are. So here we go. We're going to start this off. The first topic of today is IPL killed Test cricket. IPL killed Test cricket, and the two guys going to argue are going to be Jahan Parekh for the topic and Jahan Mehta against the topic. So they both got 2 minutes each, and then one person and the person who has spoken for the topic is given a chance of, say, about a minute to rebut. Okay? All right. Jahan Parekh, your time go on now. Go.
Right. Good evening, everyone. I'll be speaking for the motion. The IPL came into India in 2008. It came in with a lot of glitter, glamour, and it was a well-wrapped gift for cricket in India. When this gift was opened, it came out with a can of worms. It showed the disregard that the cricket administrators had toward integrity, loyalty, transparency, and honesty for the system. It hit the cricketing fraternity in India quite hard. And after that, there have been a lot of checks and controls. The kind of money the IPL involves is humongous. It's mind-boggling. Players these days are more keen on signing IPL contracts. They position their training in order to fashion their game to excel in the T20 format rather than excel in the Test cricket format. Batting and bowling on flat pitches with good bounce is very different from batting and bowling on Test cricket pitches with variable seam and swing, especially in England, South Africa, and Australia. Do you think that the IPL brings out the best in players? I don't think so. The universally agreed response is that Test cricket brings out the best in a cricket player. It shows the level of performance, level of ability, the patience and the endurance that the player has. Unfortunately, IPL has changed that. Players no longer think about Test cricket in the long run. They think about increasing their performance, skill, and gaining as much money as they can from the T20 format. When we toured New Zealand last winter, what happened? We lost to them 2-0, and we lost to England as well before that. Why? Because our batsmen could not tackle the seam and swing. Poor shots were blamed for that, as cricket experts always said. Do you think a cricketer like Sunil Gavaskar, who's mainly played Test cricket, can you blame him? Would you ever imagine him playing in that format or playing in that fashion? The electric atmosphere and the constant entertainment that IPL brings is unparalleled, and this has reduced the appeal of Test cricket in India. Viewers want to watch the 4 to 5 hour long limited over format. They do not want to resort to they do not want to spend 8 hours a day for 3 or 5 days a week. No one has the time now. Would you imagine a gale storm happening in the middle of a Test match? Or would you imagine Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli hitting centuries within 15 overs, within the first 15 overs. I don't think so. This is the disruptive effect that the IPL has had on Test cricket. That the attendance at stadiums has also dwindled, and this is killing Test cricket around the world. And somebody's got to do something about it. Thank you.
You're on mute, Parvez.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Thank you, Jahan. Thank you so much. Very nice. Okay. So now I'll hand the topic over to Jahan Mehta. Go ahead, Jahan. All yours.
Thank you, Jahan, for making my life much easier. I think you just mentioned all the wonderful points about IPL. Yes, it has improved cricket a great deal. It's found new talent. We now find talent from all across the country, in fact, all across the world, because we've got so many talent scouts, coaches, physios, trainers. Players are fitter, faster, and better than they've ever been before. And that's a huge part because of IPL. There's massive income in the game. It's been transformed, as you rightly said. And with sponsorship, again, comes employment opportunities, career opportunities, not just in cricket, but in sports management. And as this gets better, it gives back to the sport, and the sport keeps getting bigger and better. For fans, huge change in fans in the world of cricket. I think IPL really tried hard in the first few years to get women involved into the sport. If you remember the early days, they would even explain the no ball, what's a wide, basic stuff. And what's happened there? It's got the women attracted to the game. They're playing the game. This last year's ICC Women's World Cup was a huge hit. So all of this what's happened is that it's improved the quality, it's improved the fan base, and it's had an impact across all formats. Now let's come to what the best have to say. Let's take Virat, and you've all heard Virat speak many a time. Test match cricket is the holy grail of cricket. Nothing compares to 5 days of intense competition. You ask any champion cricketer in the world, Virat, Sachin, like you said, Mr. Gavaskar, you ask all of them. T20 is great. It's provided employment, it's provided opportunities, but when the serious cricketer comes to the fore, it's all the rules, all the records are always based on test match cricket, because that's the one that they all want to excel in. Look at the standard of cricket. Look at the results that are coming out. Do you remember last year, the Ashes, Ben Stokes, phenomenal. Day 5, cracking stuff. All of that has had an impact from IPL. IPL has brought out the best in all these cricketers. It's found them. It's given them confidence in terms of revenue opportunities, in terms of income, things that they never had before. So if you see that impact that's happened across cricket, it's all thanks to IPL. So Test cricket is alive. It's kicking, and major part of that is IPL. So deathbed of cricket, I don't think so. It's the holy grail. And IPL has transformed cricket like no other sporting competition has in the world. Thank you.
Ribat?
Thank you, Jahan. Jahan Parak, Ribat? Yep.
Yeah, Jahan, you rightly said that Test cricket is the best format. It brings out the best. But how often are we playing that? I mean, are we having as much Test match as we used to at the turn of the century, or even during the first decade? I don't think so. Look at the attendance. I mean, Eden Gardens was full the last time a Test match was played here because Sachin Tendulkar retired over here. But apart from that, if you see the attendance, viewers don't want to come for a 3 or 5 day event. They don't want to spend 8 hours on the ground. I mean, IPL is definitely having a negative impact on Test cricket. We are watching so much of T20 cricket, ODIs, and the IPL takes up 1.5 years of the cricketing season in India. So, I mean, it's definitely having a positive effect on employment and the rest, but on Test cricket, it's negative. Thank you.
Oh.
You have to unmute yourself, Parvez.
Parvez, unmute.
Yeah. Okay, thank you guys. Thanks so very much. Both for and against, a lot of good points. Just my own 2 little bits. I personally think that if Test cricket has suffered, it's not just the IPL. Maybe
I think Parvez is frozen, isn't he, Jahan?
Yeah, I think he's frozen.
Uh,
We'll
I
take
think
2
he
more
heard
minutes.
that bit about the last test match comment of yours and he's shocked. He still can't
It is
speak. He's
more like that
speechless.
last
The
kneel.
last one
Ramesh.
was India-Bangladesh pink ball test cricket.
Okay, my bad. But the
I'm
last one he
sorry.
had
I'm
was
sorry.
Sachin
My
Tendulkar.
bad.
So
My
sorry for
bad.
that.
My connection got cut. Sorry, guys. Okay.
No, we enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Okay. So now the next topic is very controversial. No one should own a cell phone until the age of 25. For the topic, Raizan Vacha against Firdos Jilla. Okay. Jahan and Jahan, could you all mute yourselves, please? Thank you. Okay. So Raizan, all yours. Go ahead.
Okay, can everyone hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So the first thing we need to say is, what has a cell phone become in today's world? It is no longer a device that we use for communication. It's become something that is used to keep track of people and have them on call 24/7. So the age 25 here is very significant because that's the age that most people start their professional life, their employment on a permanent basis. So once you start your employment, you need to be on call 24/7. But before that, it is not healthy, it is not good for a person to be tied and tethered to their phone to such an extent. Now, what's happened is that it's become a lot about Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook. A phone has not become about communication anymore. It's become a way for people to portray a version of themselves to make themselves feel good online for other people to see. And it's very harmful to the egos of children and the pride and like the emotions of children when they find and they access these things online and see themselves lacking because they do not have the same look or style as someone online. And all of this is through the phone. So according to an article by the New York Times, it was found that the later in life you get a cell phone, the happier you are, because they're so addictive and they're so distractive that there's almost nothing that a person between the ages of, say, 12, 13 to 19, 20 can do to focus on something else other than their phone. There's also a biological aspect to it because the prefrontal cortex of the brain only finishes developing by the mid-20s. And that's the part of the brain which controls impulse control. And so if you have a phone, it's like the ultimate anti-impulse control device because it's always there. You can always message someone, you can always tweet something, you can always send a photo. And I just want to say that just because it has become the new normal, unfortunately it has. Nowadays, when people turn 12, 13, everyone expects to get a cell phone. But just because it has become the new normal doesn't mean it's a good or it's right. These multiple studies have shown that having a cell phone is detrimental to your health. So people will ask, what about all the things that we do on a cell phone nowadays? Email, talking, WhatsApp, whatever. My whole point is that we can do these things on a PC, on a computer. And the difference is that you can control the location, you can control the time limit for people who are under 20 years old, etc. The mobile phone, and I want to emphasize on the word mobile over here, because that's what has ruined the concept for everyone, is so detrimental to a person's health, well-being, and mental health that it should not be given to a person before they turn 25, and that is my take on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Raizan. Thank you. A lot of good points over there. I'll now toss the topic over to Firdos. Firdos, all yours.
Good evening, everybody. No one should own a cell phone till the age of 25. Well, I'm speaking against this topic. Today, technology is very important. It has developed considerably. And I feel all children, even below 25, roughly about in the age between 10 and 25 or 12 and 25 should have a cell phone, because there are a lot of benefits in today's world. Just to take a start right now, is say in this situation, COVID-19 situation that we are in a crisis situation, you see children are doing online studies. Then you have work from home. All the work companies are running only because people are working from home. So it's important to have a smartphone and operate. Secondly, there's a difference between having a cell phone on and being on social media. Otherwise, you don't have a cell phone just to come on a social media. You don't use a cell phone for social media or Instagram or Facebook, as my worthy opponents said. You don't use it to portray yourself and show how good you are. There are a lot of other advantages of having a cell phone, and primarily say for children or ladies when they are traveling for safety, on a safety basis. You see, you're taking an Uber, or if you're going long distance somewhere, you keep in touch with your family members. Then there are parents who are staying here or abroad, you have children, they communicate on the cell phone on a daily basis or weekly basis. In an emergency, where earlier we used to dial from a landline, today a cell phone is very important because you instantly communicate whatever you want to communicate. So messaging. So there are a lot of advantages. Even for elderly people, they use a phone to talk, to see, talk to their family members, or just a message. They don't use it for Instagram. They don't use it for other things like he said so. It is important to network in today's time. And I feel it is good because at this age, they start learning, and it can be controlled. Controlled way, you should use it. And I think it is an advantage for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Firdaus. Thanks very much. Raizan, a rebuttal from your side, if you wish.
Most definitely. Firdaus uncle, you spoke about like online classes and emails and how elderly people speak on the cell phones. And first of all, most of those things, almost all of those things can be done on a computer or a laptop. And secondly, my point where you said that elderly people don't use Snapchat and Instagram, that's my point. People above the age of 25 have the wisdom, have the restraint not to be sucked into the addiction that comes with owning a cell phone before that time. And, you know, I'll pose a question to most of the people here and all of the judges, right, about the safety aspect and being in constant contact. When y'all were between the ages of 10, 11 to 25, none of y'all had cell phones. Y'all seemed to manage perfectly well. Y'all turned out pretty well. I admit that there are some positives to having a cell phone, that in an emergency or on a long distance trip, etc. But the negatives are far worse than the positives and the alternatives to a cell phone. The alternatives to a mobile phone are much better than a cell phone itself, because a cell phone brings many, many drawbacks with it that the others do not have. Everything has its positives and negatives. But for me, I feel that the negatives in this time period where a young person is so malleable is far outweigh the positives. Thank you.
Yep, go ahead. Okay, Firdaus. Yeah, sure.
Just a small answer to his this points. Everybody cannot afford a laptop which costs at least 60,000 to a lakh plus. A smartphone comes well below 20-25,000. You can get a good smartphone. So it makes sense for families who can't afford expensive stuff to have. And our times, we did manage without a cell phone. There was less crime, there was less, and things were safer. Today now, with networking and everything happening, there is a lot of complex and complicated situations that arise. And I feel it is essential that a controlled way you should be given a cell phone from the age of about 12, 13, and not at 25 only. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. This could go on forever, you know. I myself am of the opinion sometimes I wish I could throw my cell phone out of the window. But yes, really, I wish I could. But anyway, like we said, there are goods and there are bads, and we'll leave the judges to decide this one. I wouldn't want to get into it. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Firdaus. Thank you,
Firdaus uncle. Thank you, Firdaus uncle. I just want to say, especially for Firdaus uncle, he found out that he was speaking 20 minutes ago, and he immediately said no problem, and he came up with a very good argument. So 3 cheers to him.
Thank you.
Thank you. But Raizan, do you realize that if we were to carry this through, you wouldn't have a cell phone just now?
I do, and I understand that. The thing is, it's become the new normal, and the new normal is not necessarily a good thing.
Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next, we've got the next topic over here, and the topic is high sporting performance and academics can go hand in hand. And for the topic, Frinaz Mogrelia, and against the topic, the nephew, Urvaksh. Okay, so we'll start this off. Frinaz, all yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Parvez. Good evening, everybody. I think I have a clincher of a topic which doesn't even require a debate. High sporting performances and academics can go hand in hand. The keyword here is can, and of course they can. I'd like to just first take up the first term, high sporting performance. What is a high sporting performance? It's a very relative term. You could have a high sporting performance at a school level when a student breaks a school record. You can have a high sporting performance at the club level when someone breaks the club records. You can take it at the state, national, and international level. So a high sporting performance can happen at various levels. Now, when they happen at school level, children who are breaking records are definitely also participating in sports as well as performing in academics. My worthy opponent on the other side comes from a sporting family. I don't know how he is going to go against a motion that actually reflects the reality of his own family. Let me start with his own father. He was an accomplished swimmer and he broke many records at the club level. That is at the swimming club. While he continued with academics and he went on to study much more than that. His aunt has played basketball for the state and continued to study, and today she's completely and deeply in academics. And so the two did go together. I don't need to give you examples from the Indian cricket scene. You would know that better than me. We have many cricketers who completed their base level education, went on to completing their college level. And we even have people like Anil Kumble and Ashwin who became engineers and then joined the Indian cricket team. So what more proof do we need that academics and high sporting performances can go together? But the most definite argument in favor of this debate is the fact that the top Ivy League institutions in the United States, as well as the top academic institutions in United Kingdom, like Cambridge and Oxford and Yale and Harvard, they all look for people who are outstanding in sports, and they give special preference to those people who then go on to playing for those universities, excelling both in sports and in academics. In fact, Oxford and Cambridge has a tradition of rowing competitions between each other, where people who are high-end academicians are also participating in high-level sporting performances. So most definitely, there is no argument against this. Sporting performances and academics can go together. And in fact, the new education policy has really underlined this, because they have tried to break away the watertight compartments between sports and academics, and they are wanting to promote both at an equal level because they both develop mental faculties. Thank you.
Thank you, Frinaz. Thank you. Okay. There we go. Urvaksh, all yours.
Thanks, Paris uncle. Good evening. Good evening, Frinaz Kaki, and good evening, everyone. So I'd like to begin by defining high sporting performances a little differently as to how Frinaz Kaki defined it. She said that a high sporting performance would be reaching, say, a record in your school or reaching a record in, say, a college. But if you reach that record in your school, wouldn't you want to take it further to the district, then to the national, and then if not national, then international? Now, if you're going to take it to that high level, to have another career as such, or to dedicate the same amount of time to your education is an unreasonable ask. A day is only 24 hours long. And if you have somebody who's dedicating 10 to 12 hours a day in 3 to 4 different sessions to their sport, fitness, etc., throughout the day, you're not going to have time, let alone the energy, to pursue something like an academic career. Things were mentioned as such that Ivy League colleges and colleges such as Cambridge and Oxford look for students who excel in sports, but they have separate intake categories such as sports quota. Now, why would you have something such as sports quota if you're arguing, saying that sports and career and academics can be done equally and with equal importance? It's not possible. It's not feasible. For every 10 athletes who might give equal weightage to sports and to their education, you'll have that one athlete who's going to give everything to the sport. And that one athlete is the person that you're going to want to beat if you're going to perform excellently or perform high in your field. So another thing that I'd like to stress upon is in India, to have something like this in India, where you've got so much competition as it is to gain entrance into, say, a college or a field for a job. To have two careers side by side is absolutely unreasonable. So I'm not here to question how much importance should be put on either, because that's a different discussion and I might differ on that. But if you're going to ask whether you can have a sporting career and an education career side by side, I don't think it's possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Urvax. Thank you. Frenaz, would you like to?
Yes, I just want to point out to my worthy opponent that academics doesn't mean an academic career. That would mean academia. This is academics, means that you pursue academics while also performing highly in sport. I think that is what the motion means. It doesn't mean that you have to have a career in academics. And in these Ivy League universities, as I said, they're not taken in because only of sports. They also have to have performed very well academically. So they are actually doing both together. They are both performing well because the rigors of those courses, we all know, is extremely high. And those rigors are not in any way lessened for these sporting personnel. So the fact is that these people are doing it. I'm not saying it's easy, but definitely they can go hand in hand. There are people who have done it and it can result. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you both. I won't comment on this. I'm not the best guy to comment on this sort of stuff. I wasn't very good in academics, and I don't think I was very good in sports either. But anyway, let's go to our next topic. Controversial. Men are less complicated than women. And for the topic, we have Ratan Postwala, and against we have Cyrus Modi. I think Sai has got himself a really, really difficult one to go. He can't win both ways. Either he's going to win here or he's going to win at home. One of the two. I can't see him winning both. Go ahead, guys. Okay, Ratan, 4.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Parvez, respected judges, ladies and gentlemen. Sai. I think it's not a difficult topic for Parvez. It's a difficult topic for me. But I'm going to start by saying that this is a really sort of complex, nuanced subject. It can be argued forever. It's a very relevant topic in this day and age. So I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of it. I'm just going to give everyone a very simple and relevant example to prove that the motion stands or should stand. So let's look at this. Let's look at the topic. Men are less complicated than women, right? The topic's been given to me, someone whose relationship status has been questioned over the years and is a subject of interest to many. I don't know why, right? Now, not only was this topic given to me to bash the women possibly, but I was first pitted against Numi Uncle, right? The ultimate ladies' man, number 1 on the popularity list with all the women. So there I am put up with this subject against someone like him. Now, what do we have? We have 3 ladies who are judges. That's Gaver, Trista, and Dinaz, right? And then after all this complication making me worry about what I'm going to say, 2 hours ago, I'm told that no, Numiyaka is not going to participate. They take him out and they give me another opponent, right? So it's one complication over the other. And who's behind all this? 2 women, Firoza and Benaz, who've been torturing me for the last 5 months with all these online programs. And then they put me up here in front of the entire community with an audience watching on YouTube, and they give me a subject like this. Do I need to say any more? Men are definitely less complicated than women. Thank you.
Thank you, Ratan. Thank you. Thank you so much. Very well argued. Anyway, I'll leave that to the judges. So, Cyrus, all yours, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. The topic being debated today is men are less complicated than women, and I am talking against the motion. As you have already said, Parvez, and I'm quite sure that everyone will be thinking that I have no chance in this debate. I seem to have been sent out to face Shoaib Akhtar without a bat and without protective gear. If you ask any person, me included, the immediate reaction would be that women are more complicated than men. My first reaction was that. However, since I have had time to sit and think about this, I am of the opinion that the reverse is actually true. Men are more complicated than women. I'll just put out 2 or 3 points in this regard. Men have a shorter attention span and thus lose focus easily. At times, while talking to them, it seems that they're listening with great attention, but somewhere along the line, they have switched off, especially when it is a monologue from the wife or the girlfriend. And the entire discussion is just a drone in the background, and he's probably thinking of football, food, music, drink, anyone or all of them. Therefore, you cannot take him at face value. Men do not normally say what they're thinking or feeling. They just carry on as if nothing is wrong. So you never know what is actually happening there. A man will want one thing but ask for something else. Take a simple example. A man will want to have a Fatakri girlfriend. I won't go into the detailed descriptions, but good figure, mini skirt, etc., would come into it. However, once he does get a Fatakri girlfriend, or the said girlfriend becomes a baby, then the mini skirt, etc., will be frowned upon because all the other luchos will be eyeing her. Never mind the fact that till the other day, he was part of the lucho brigade himself. In conclusion, I would like to say that both men and women are complicated. Complicated on the surface, but men are more complicated underneath. Men are like ducks, calm on the surface, but paddling like crazy underneath. Thank you.
Okay, Ratan, would you like to have another go? Yeah, please go ahead.
See what these 2 women, Firoza and Benaz, have done. They've made poor Sai speak against the motion with his wife looming over him like a colossus. Look at her. And they're messing with my poor opponent as well. I mean, I rested my case a couple of minutes ago. I rested again. Women are definitely more complicated than men.
Thank you, both of you all. This has been a fun one. This has been a real fun one. Thank you.
I'm now logging off WhatsApp for the next few months.
God bless you. Okay, so the next topic over here, we're going to the next topic, and the topic is that the CPC's men's team of the 1990s underachieved because they were more focused on girls. And we have Farhad Tarapur for the topic and Rayman Sabawala against the topic. Okay, so both of you guys, okay, so we start with Farhad. Farhad, go ahead.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As you rightly heard, I am going to speak for the topic. And to start with the 1990s. Yes, as rightly said, we underachieved over there. And yes, the main reason was that the influence of the ladies, and they were very beautiful ladies at that time. Not to say that they are not now also, but yes, Parsi ladies are very beautiful. And here it starts all with the practice, or rather before the practice also, to call the people for the practice and to register themselves for the games also. So we had our senior members who were there, and these senior members would be basically struggling to get our younger generation people or the young Parsi boys at that time to register for the event, for the games which is there. And so we had to send the Malis literally to their houses to collect the photos for registering themselves. But if you see the other way around, when it went for the boys to go out with the girls, they would not wait or they would not see anything, but they would go literally to their evenings, to their movie halls or a nightclub or a dhaba, and they had to go on their own without any help or anything of that sort. Anyway, so let's come back. We would get very less people out for the practice sessions, and this was obvious because the boys used to spend the nights out with the girls. They were either at the movie hall or at a dhaba or maybe a nightclub, and that's the reason why we would never get people out in the practice. And of course, when we never got the people out at the practice, our performance at the teams and when the games were held were very poor. And of course, since they did not even have their exercises or their fitness done, even when they came for the games also, they were very tired or very kind of lazy, and we did not achieve what we could have achieved with the excellent boys whom we had. And of course, there were times when they could not even turn up also for the games which were there. And why they could not turn up? Because they had late nights which were there. And that's the basic reason why we underperformed. Thank you.
Thank you, Farhad. Thank you. Okay, so I'll hand the topic over now to Raymond. Go ahead, Raymond.
Good evening, everyone. My topic is the CPC men's team of the 1990s underachieved because they were more focused on girls. So I'm going to speak against the topic. Now, the word underachieved here appears to be very vague for the simple reason that in this context, that the very purpose of playing sport by the men of the 1990s was to deploy their energies into something fruitful, develop their man management skills, team handling skills, being part of a unit. So those skills were meant to be developed. That's why we played sport. Sport was an avenue to channelize our focus into something constructive. It was never that we wanted to possibly make a career. For those who did, they eventually did try, but even if they didn't eventually make a career out of sport, they managed to do something in the profession that they've eventually taken, and they've done wonderfully well so far. So, of course, friendships would always be there. The likes, we would meet up at the club and the likes, that was always there. But what surprises me is that Farhad Tarapur, who's speaking for the motion, he himself was such an accomplished athlete, such an accomplished hockey player, footballer, and he was known as Mustoda for his exploits on the field. And I mean, that's what baffles me. In fact, even in that almanac, which got published in 2008, the 100 years almanac that eventually came out, spoke about all the lads of the 1990s who have gone on and represented the club. And I would say that it laid the foundation for the future generations. So the question of people not being focused, I do not think is quite true. That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Remy. Thank you. Farhad, any rebuttal? Or you're muted, Farhad.
Yes, all I would like to basically, yes. All I would like to basically say is that the team scores and the divisions that we played in basically showed where we were and how we underperformed. That's it.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure this is a topic that can be hotly contested sitting around on a Sunday morning over breakfast. Yeah. So we'll get on to the next topic. Which is humans are the most dangerous creatures on this planet. Humans are the most dangerous creatures on this planet. And for the topic is Zara Aga, and against the topic is Darius Modi. So, Zara, you're first. Go.
Yes. So I think that humans are definitely the most dangerous creatures on this planet. You might think sharks or lions or even mosquitoes are the most dangerous. But let me tell you that it's actually us, humans. I'm not saying all of us are dangerous. We're quite kind, we're quite loving, and we're quite caring. But there are those few humans that let greed, jealousy, or sheer indifference determine their actions, and a few of them even cause mass destruction. Let's talk about the facts. Humans abuse power. Humans' intelligence causes destruction. Humans harm animals. And humans unknowingly destroy the environment every day. Plus, humans are so dangerous that they harm themselves. Firstly, they abuse power. When power gets into the wrong hands, the few humans that do have that power can cause massive destruction. And Hitler and Saddam Hussein, I'm sure you've heard of, are very vivid examples of this. Secondly, humans are so intelligent and advanced that we have created weapons of mass destruction. We have created atomic bombs, nuclear bombs, guns, and other armory. And think about this. We humans could have even created the virus that has infected 23 million people worldwide right now. Yes, I'm talking about COVID. Thirdly, humans destroy other animals and beings. Think about this. Humans are just 0.01% of all life, but have destroyed 83% of wild mammals. Animals eat each other because they need to survive, but we humans kill without reason. And fourthly, we are messing up the environment. Humans are the main reason why the environment is changing so drastically. They're the main cause for pollution, burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and a lot of other things. They don't realize it, but their actions towards animals, plants, and living organisms will and are affecting the planet and causing mass destruction. And lastly, they even destroy themselves. They create war within themselves. They create war within their own kind. World War I and II, that started between humans, led to 90 million deaths. Well, for now, humans are the most dangerous creatures or things on this planet. But if we aren't careful and let our intelligence guide us, we may create something more advanced than us, such as robots or even viruses, which may become more dangerous than humans. But, however, until then, humans are clearly the most dangerous creatures on this planet today. Thank you.
Thank you, Zara. Very, very well spoken. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, okay, Darius, it's all yours. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Today, I am supposed to make a stand against the saying, humans are the most dangerous species on this planet. That statement would be true if we had other animal-like attributes, like say, let's go fangs, claws, poison-coated skin, mandibles, acid blood. Maybe one day when we develop these attributes, we can be called dangerous. Until then, let us take some comfort in the fact we are not as dangerous as some modern day animals like lions, tigers, sharks, whales, or any others. Now let's go a little bit ancient. And Zara also mentioned about power and size being abused. That would lead me to the dinosaurs, the terrible lizards. If they were alive today, we would be on that menu 24/7. Forget being picked up in double numbers and triple numbers. We'd be picked up in the thousands just for the midnight snack. Forget going out to seas. The great white shark's grandfather, the megalodon, would be wrecking every small ship it came across and eating everybody on it. Swimming with the dolphins would become swimming with the piranhas, very big piranhas they had. And if we are thinking, let's go on a cruise ship, those ships would be left to the Leviathan Melville, who we all know under the name of Moby Dick. And forget air travel, that is not going to be safe at all. The Greek word for grappling hook is harpax or harpago, depending on the reference. Enter the bird, Harpagonus muri, a giant bird native to New Zealand that picked on birds that were much, much bigger than ostriches. And when its food source died out 600 years ago, who did it turn to? It turned to humans who had virtually no defense at that time. If there are any pilots watching the show, they know what happens if there's a bird strike, a crow or a pigeon hitting the engine by accident. Now imagine a bird 30 times that size making a beeline for your plane, but on purpose. And they can get a lot higher than just 1 kilometer in the air. You can imagine the consequences on that. Now, I've talked about birds in the air. Let's talk about birds that could not fly. They were no easy cakes. They were called terror birds. They lived in North and South America until about 2 million years ago. 10 feet tall, and beaks were so strong and sharp, they could kill other animals by striking their heads down and cracking their skulls. Can you get any more dangerous than that? That's literally called using your head. And if we're going to go very dangerous, I'd say the most dangerous are those created by fiction. Vampires, zombies, gargoyles, werewolves, dragons. These guys, they'd give any of these above mentioned creatures a run for their money. So I'd just like to end by saying, until we evolve to survive in the fierce competition all these aforementioned creatures did, we cannot be remotely classified as dangerous. Sure, we created the atomic bomb, we've got technology. That can get wiped out in an instant like that. After that, what are we? We're nothing but animals. We evolved around 300 million years ago, I'd say. I cannot be sure of that timeline. But let's be honest, it's all the survival of the fittest. If need be, even we can turn into cannibals just like the animals can. We don't know what was happening in the animal kingdom, so war has to be used as a relative term here. So what I've just spoken about is actually how vulnerable we are, rather than how dangerous we are. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Darius. Zara, would you like to rebut?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, go ahead.
Darius, you did mention that if humans had more animal-like attributes, they would be they would be more dangerous. But those animals, as I said before, they eat to survive. But us humans, not at all. But some humans are selfish. We take power and we abuse it. We discriminate and fight with each other. And we harm the environment and we harm animals. We don't need fangs or acid blood. We have guns and bombs that at the press of a button can destroy cities. And the animals Darius mentioned before are thankfully not present right now. And yes, if they were present, us humans would be in a little bit of trouble. But for now and for the present, humans are definitely the most dangerous creatures there are. Thank you.
Thank you. Very well contested, both of you. Very well
May I just rebut for a minute?
All right, go ahead. Sure, go ahead.
Zara, in case you didn't hear, I said if we take away all that technology, we just take it away, we become much more vulnerable than the animals. We still are. It only takes a bee sting to pierce us, and that's not a lot of pressure. Can you imagine a shark biting into you? That's a lot of pressure. Thank you.
Can I say one thing to that?
Oh my goodness. Okay, all right. One more and that's it. Otherwise,
well, yes, we are physically we are a lot more vulnerable compared to sharks, for example. But because we have that technology, we can create things that can easily get them extinct. So that's why I think humans are more dangerous, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So we'll get to our next topic, and the topic is sports is undoubtedly the best pastime for teens. And for the topic, Arshia Gupta, and against the topic, Samara Mehta Vyas. Okay, guys, are you all ready? I can see Arshia over here. Where's Samara? Samara. Okay, there we go. All right. So for the topic, Arshia, your time starts. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Today I'll be speaking for the topic. So teenage is the best age for making the body physically strong. Growth hormones have to be fully utilized, which can only come from exercising. With the kind of study pressure we teens have, sports provides the best way to relax and de-stress our body and the mind. Sports also increases focus and power to concentrate. Today's studies, because of this pandemic, because of this coronavirus, this COVID-19, basically provided on the internet. All studies are provided on the internet this time, which means spending the maximum time on the laptop and mobile screen, which is spoiling our eyes, our shoulders, our neck, and our back, which also has to be protected for further life. And such protection can come from playing sports in our pastime. As they say, like all parents say most of the time, that all study, no play makes Jack a dull boy. Like this, all of us are becoming even more dull. Thank you.
Thank you, Arshia. Thank you. Very well spoken. And now I'll hand the floor over to Samara. Samara, please go ahead, but first unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone. Arshia, really well spoken. But the topic is totally against it. Judges, moderator, ladies and gentlemen, I am speaking on behalf of all teenagers and against the motion. We teenagers are going through a really emotional and confusing time in our lives. Our hormones are all over the place. In our growing phase, we want to be treated as adults, but are often treated like children, and we don't know how to respond. What I want you to do is break your idea of a stereotypical teenager. We don't only study, play sports, and loaf around. Technology exists. Everything is on our fingertips right now. Literally everything. My phone. You think I'm on my phone just to stare? No. It's my window of opportunity and communication. It's a world library. Information there is there. Every single piece of information you want, it's on your phone. Music, art, design, communication. And that brings me to my next point, communication, staying in touch. Arshia, thank you for mentioning the virus. And that is exactly why we need more communication. We need to learn how to use technology to its full use. Quick question. Would you rather have me bouncing the basketball up and down and running for hours and hours? Or would you have me doing this debate? Ladies and gentlemen, please think about this. And I would like to end by saying, use all the tools and technology that are at our disposal. We need this now more than ever. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Samara. Thank you so much. Arshia, would you like to say a few more words?
Yes, I would. So Samara, you basically just mentioned about studies. I hope everyone knows, we just don't use the phone or the laptop for only studies and online things. We even use it for social media. Even you have Instagram, everything. And most of the times when we all gather around club, we don't play. We just sit in one place and talk. We don't have anything better to do. Even though bouncing the basketball, I'm not saying play sports like playing a particular sport like basketball, badminton, TT, not like that. I mean, keep the body fit. We need it for progress in life. Because teenage, our body is really flexible. Our muscles are flexible. And to keep that flexibility, we really need to exercise. We have to stretch out our muscles. Because soon as we get to the age of 16, our muscles start to get really hard. Not 16 like class 9. Our muscles start to get really hard and can cause us problem in early life plus in later life. That's all I have to say. If anything else, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay.
May I please sing?
Yes, Samara, go ahead.
Arshia, you literally just mentioned that we communicate while we're at club, which is exactly my point. Sports was the most important time pass, but not anymore. We're teenagers. We need to communicate. That's what we do. Thank you.
Even though that's what we do, we shouldn't. The phone is a virus to us. Our eyes, our shoulders. Okay, I admit I'm always on the phone, but that doesn't mean I don't exercise. I've got workouts in the evening and in the morning. I stretch out my muscles every day by splits and everything. And if you don't keep your body fit at this age and just sit on the screen the whole day, it's gonna get us nowhere. We'll face a lot of problems like back pain, shoulders, our eyesight might get weak. Now see, you have specs now. I don't know if it's plus power or minus, but your eyes have got bad.
Okay, thank you both. Thank you so much. Well, we were going back into the old topic of the mobile phones. This was what we were going to. Okay, so we'll go to the next topic now. Thank you. The next topic is dating remains eternal, romantic, and unchanged. And for the topic is Khurshid Adeshar Vacha, and against the topic is Binaifa Modi. So, are we guys ready? All right. Yep. Go ahead, Khurshid. Go ahead. All yours.
Hi. Hi, everyone. I have received, can you hear me? Oh, yeah. I've received a topic that is dating remains eternal, romantic, and unchanged. And that's true, because what is dating? Dating is boy meets girl with regard to attraction, with regards to matrimony and procreation, and living life together and expanding the species. And so I can give you 100 of examples through the ages. We'll go back to Indian mythology. Arjuna, he was married to Draupadi, but he was in love with Shubhadra. And somehow or the other, he managed to get hold of Shubhadra and have a child, Abhimanyu. Then there was Romeo and Juliet. Even though their families were against it, they had to get together, maybe with tragic consequences, but they loved each other and they got together. Laila and Majnu. If you want to get more topical, go to a Netflix series called Indian Matchmaking, where people are meeting and dating with a view to matrimony and procreation. It's an eternal thing. Then what about our Prince William meeting Kate Middlesbrough, even though Middleton, yeah. Even though the paparazzi were behind him all the time, he managed to take her out. He managed to ensnare her in attraction, and they managed to get married and create a family. So that kind of proves my point that, you know, dating remains eternal. It has to be romantic, and it doesn't change. It may wear different clothes and faces, but it is the same through the ages. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Khurshid. Thank you. Binaifa, all yours.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Good evening. And I'm going to read what I have actually written because I just can't speak offhand. So you'll have to excuse me with my head down. The topic being debated today is dating remains eternal, romantic, and unchanged. And I am talking against the motion. In the good old days, we went on a date with someone you met in school, college, through friends, and so on. Everybody has an idealized picture of dates, walking hand in hand along the seaside with the sun setting. I'm from Bombay, remember that. Or sitting together in a movie hall, eating a meal together while gazing deep into each other's eyes. Secrets being shared just between the two. In the present times, with the change in lifestyle and especially technology jumping leaps and bounds in the last 25 to 30 years, we have moved far, far away from such romanticism and idealization. The fast-moving pace that the current generations are moving, the concept of dating has completely died. Today, you would probably go on a date with someone that you met online, maybe Tinder or on a chat room. However, before meeting the person, you would not be sure if the person you want to meet is actually as described in the profile, with the right age, sex, etc. You would not be sitting in a movie hall holding hands in the darkness, but instead you would be sitting somewhere and watching movies on Netflix or Amazon Prime and such like. And if your taste in movies are not the same, then each would be watching a different one on a separate device and both being in the same room. Makes no sense. As for gazing into each other's eyes, forget it. That is no longer the done thing. More likely chatting would be done, not verbally, but via WhatsApp, Messenger, and so on. There is now nothing which is private or a secret. People have this urge to post anything and everything, and it is public information on various groups and forums. Tolerance levels have dropped, and the I factor is very high. So if you are dating someone like this, you can be sure that all details will be for the world to know. So to end it, I would be saying dating is no longer romantic and has loads of unwanted baggage. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep, Khushi, go ahead.
Unmute.
You'll have to unmute, yeah.
Actually, Vinayful, I think you just proved my point, because whether it's through Tinder or whether it's online, it's still dating and it's still attraction. Whether the attraction comes through a chat or through the Parsi Club. I mean, I can name you many, many pairs who met playing basketball and hockey together and then, progressed to this thing. So I could kind of say dates, romance, love, marriage, horse carriage is a given through the ages.
I agree with you on up to a point, but with today's generation, no, the horse carriages are way off, and sports is very competitive. Even dating has become very competitive. That is what the whole thing is.
Okay, that is where that matchmaker comes in, where competitive, professional dating has been organized now, but it's still dating. It's still dating, and it's still romance. Another name.
Okay, thank you guys. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so now the next topic. Now the next pair who are going to debate are a mother and son. Okay, so cycles should be banned from the streets of Calcutta for Danish Tarapur against Pearl Tarapur. Danish, are you there? Okay, Danish.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, great. Okay, you've got your chance. You're not going to get a better chance to argue with your mother and carry on arguing as much as you want. Okay, so go ahead, have fun.
So, good evening, moderators, sir, and judges. Why do you want to cycle when you have the bus, you have the car, you have the metro, you have so many other ways of going around faster? Go on the cycle, tire himself and get home, take the car and go wherever you want. It's faster and you can save time also. People tell me, you should go cycling here, there. I can go in the car also. I can take all the picnic stuff with me and go eat with my friends, play music in the car itself. Why would I need a cycle to go all the way there and then enjoy? How can you enjoy when you're tired, cycling all the way 20 kilometers? How is this supposed to be good? And it should be banned because they cause a big nuisance, like all the two-wheelers. In fact, even the motor vehicle, the two-wheeler motor vehicle also should be banned. They cause the most accidents and they are all helter-skelter. No proper parking. They just keep their bikes anywhere. So I am totally against this. And that cycle is also a big problem to pollution. Yes. We burn so much metal to make a cycle. That much is not even burnt for, that much is not even smelted for making cars. And our economic runs on cars. Our health is bad because we are driving the car. The doctor is there, the doctor gets employment. The people making the cars get employment. The people who are involved in taking out the oil from down have employment. So how can you tell that cycling is good when it destroys the whole economy? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Danish. Thank you so much. So the next, okay, I think you're going to have to evacuate your seat. Yes, that's right. Okay. And we now have Pearl. Okay, Pearl, you have your topic. Go ahead.
Hello, everybody. So my topic is cycles should be banned from Kolkata streets against Danish Tarapur. So I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride it where I like. The ban on the bicycle should not be there because bicycles are pollution free totally. They don't pollute, as my opponent told that they pollute. They don't pollute. The cars, the bikes, and all these, they pollute the environment. They pollute. They create air pollution. They create water pollution, noise pollution. All the cars which run on the road just honk here, there, everywhere, because they are increasing. The honking of the cars, they spoil our ears. You can also tell me that the ting ting, that ring which is there on the cycle, it doesn't pollute because the metal hits the metal, and that's where the ring comes. So it is a non-pollutant. Then next, every household, they have more than 2 cars, more than 1 car, or the parking space they require. So all this space is gone. In one car, where you park 1 car, there 4 to 5 cycles can come. So much space is required to park big vehicles. Cycle can take you anywhere, everywhere fast. It also gives you good health. When you ride bicycle, it makes your mood happy. You feel happy. You get energetic, and keeps you fit all the way. And for some time back, the government also, Trinamool government also started Green Companion initiative, in which they gave free bicycles to a lot of students to ride to the school. So that then how the government, when government is encouraging urban cycling, how come traffic police is prohibiting it? There are a lot of signs put all over the places of non-cycling zone. So my point stays that cycling should not be banned. It is very effective, very good, pollution free. It keeps you happy and decreases cholesterol. It is the best thing, should be there. Thank you.
Thank you. Danish, planning to rebuttal?
Yes, I would like to rebuttal on this, that car parking space is there immense. Only the people who are driving the cars have to pay the taxes for it. Cyclists don't pay taxes also for the road. How can you tell them to allow cycling?
Cycling is very important. Cycling is very important because only the rich people can afford cars. The people who are poor, from where will they get money for cars? They need cycle. It is the best commuter, best friendly help to those people who cannot afford cars. And the
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I think you all can now continue this if you all wish to at home.
The person who gave me the topic is the main culprit to all this.
Okay, fine. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so that was fun. And now our last topic for the day. It's another controversial one. It's like that men are less complicated than women. Now, this one says, my wife is always right. And for the topic, for the motion is Firdos Jilla. Against the topic is Rayoman Sabawala. Guys on? Yep. Ah. All right.
Darling, I'm saying what you are telling me. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and my mother-in-law who's here listening. My topic for today is my wife is always right. 30 years of marriage, 2 kids. I think I have to agree. Initially, I did a little bravado when I was 30 years younger, tried out a few stunts, all backfired. So finally today, after 30 years of marriage, I have to admit my wife is always right, even if I'm forced to say so. Honestly, after being married for so long, I think she has observed me very well. And over a period of time, I've learned that most of the time I was wrong. So if you're driving anywhere, she'll say, turn right, but yours truly left. And then my luck, it'll be a dead end. So the shoulders go like this, whatever. Now that whatever doesn't mean whatever. You are dead. That's it. Food. She'll ask, darling, aaj soup banao. What will I cook today? Make mutton biryani, make chicken farcha. Oh no, chicken farcha is very high in cholesterol. Mutton you can't have. Okay, let's have eggs. Again, you want your cholesterol to go up? Then let's have sandwiches. Nothing. She will give finally papri or bhida or whatever, and I have to eat whatever she has given. So instead of arguing all the time, every time, I've decided whatever she says, she is definitely right. I see the kids coming home from playing. They see me and they'll ask, where's mom? And when they go to mom, they'll ask, Ma, I'm hungry, I'm cold, I'm hot. Can I have this? Can I watch that? All the questions go there. The only question to me is, where's mom? So you realize over a period of time that your wife is always right. 2 rules for those who have just got married for a successful marriage. Rule 1, my wife is always right. And rule 2, if you feel she is wrong, refer to rule 1 or use all these, keep all these gadgets there for your safety. Can you see it? Thank you.
Thank you, Firdaus. Thanks a lot. And I'll pass the topic on now to Remy. Remy, all yours. Go ahead.
Can I?
Thank you, Firdaus. Yes.
Remy, just 1 minute. Just send your wife to the kitchen before you speak. For the next.
Firdaus, you just said that you were forced to say this, that your wife is always right. I'm sure the word always here would mean that you always side with what she says is right. Don't you think that your inner call, your inner self will one day be asking you that, am I doing what I should be doing? So sometimes at least hold your own, be your own person. And as far as I know you, you're somebody who's always been your own person. You've held your own, you've had your own standing. So Firdaus, it's a little again surprising that you come up with something like this. So even my judges, the 3 women would also agree that not always right. Maybe sometimes right, but not always right. So for all our Parsi, possibly henpecked husbands, don't say that your wife is always right. Maybe she's right sometimes, but maybe you are also right sometimes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And so that, well, I wouldn't want to comment. I think Ida is also watching this. So I'll stick to it. Yes, they're always right. Fine. So now we've come to the end of all the topics. And now we're waiting for our judges to tote up their scores. Would anyone like to comment on this last topic? And anyone else who's participated? Would anyone else like to comment on this? For or against the wife is always right?
I have a suggestion. Can we have Firdaus speaking against the motion?
My mother-in-law is also there. Why are you putting me in a problem?
Okay.
No, but anyone else? Let's see. Oh, no, Raizan's not married. Neither is Jahan Parak. So I don't know. That leaves who? No. That leaves. Who does that leave?
Parvez, I would like to.
Oh, please go ahead. Please go ahead, Benny. Go ahead.
If anyone thinks that the women are not right, they can come and give me a call. I have something to say.
Parvez.
Yes,
That
Khushi.
is Jahan Mehta.
Yes, that leaves Jahan Mehta. Jahan, would you like? But you know, 1 minute. Hang on. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be only the guys who have to argue this. Even any of you girls can argue it.
Gulnar will mess up Jahan's score, then don't blame her.
But any of you girls would like to go ahead, please.
I totally agree with the topic that the wife is always right, so I have nothing more to say.
No, but you should try and do it against. Anyway,
She's not always right. She's a lefty.
Fine. So now we're now just waiting for the scores to come. And where are we now? So it's been a fun event. I hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as I have sitting over here. And I do hope all of you all have also enjoyed it, participating, and all those who've been watching on YouTube. So I'll now hand over to Gulnar. Gulnar, please, if you'll give us the scores.
Parvez, before Gulnar announces the scores, we'd like to have one of the judges come on and just.
Oh, sure. Of course. Yes, right. Most remiss of me. The three judges, Trista, Gaver, and Dinaz.
Hi, everyone. So tell you which team has won. So the motions for them, they have got 1 and.
Gulnar, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, Gulnar, we're just having one of the judges say a few words.
Sure. I'll just wait.
Okay.
So Trista, all yours.
Okay. Hello. I think I speak on behalf of all the judges. It was great fun. There were really innovative topics that were picked up. I can understand why there were 4 on sports, but I don't know why you had 3 which were gender biased and favoring women, and we were all 3 women judges. I don't know what you expected us to do, whether you wanted us. I mean, the men had to be really good for us to change our opinion. I would love to have given Firdaus Jilla the prize for the best person, because he talked about how the wife was always right, which is so true. There is no question about that. But let's see who got the most points for that. The youngsters stood out really well. They really held their own against the seasoned debaters. And congratulations to them. It was really nice seeing most of them win. It was always a pretty close tie between each one. I think we all had a very difficult time. I know I'm speaking on behalf of the other 2 as well. We had a very difficult time trying to judge and get to the right thing. Congratulations to all of you for joining in here. And as always, somebody has to be a winner. But on behalf of all of them, I think we really enjoyed it thoroughly. And I hope we had enough participants watching also who enjoyed it as much as we did. Gulnar, over to you. What were telling us what the scores were?
Thank you, Trista. Gulnar, we look forward to the scores.
I am back. So as I was saying that the team with the maximum motions won was Raisa Shah's team with 6 motions, and Darius Modi's team got 4 motions. The best speaker and the runner-up The best speaker got a total of 82 points, Zara. And the runner-up was Cyrus Modi with 81 points.
Okay. So
Congratulations. That's very nice. Congratulations to everyone, and also for participating and taking. You all really gave it a lot of time, a lot of energy. Wonderful. Thank you all so much. Firoza, over to you.
Thank you so much, Parvez. You can all come on and thank our moderator and our judges for being so sporting and spending so much of time with us this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Very much.
Thank you.
Thanks to all the judges.
More often.
Rosa for planning this awesome event. She kept saying, let's cancel it. But it worked out really well. We had a
Thank you.
Thank you to all the wonderful speakers. You all were superb.
Thank you very
Too
much.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was
Thank you.
wonderful.
Davir, we hope to see you more on all our shows.
Yes, please let me know. Get me onto the chat, Firoza.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the chat.
Okay, super.
Thank
Great
you so much.
reconnecting.
And thank you, all of you. Please come up with ideas and thoughts on more events we can have for the Calcutta Parsi Club and bounce them onto Benaz and Ratan so that they can plan more events for the Parsi Club. Thank you all so much. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.